Good evening and welcome to TAPP Talk Live number 5. So this is the fifth one in the series of TAPP Talks here and in Malta. And my name is Phil Richards. I'm from TAPP Water in Malta. And today we're going to do an Ask Me Anything. So if you're joining on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn, then you can just ask your questions in the comments section, and then hopefully I'll be able to answer them tonight. So I wrote out a few questions, first of all, of the kind of things that people ask me all the time. So we're going to run through those. We're going to be around 10 to 15 or 20 minutes, depending on how many questions we get, or if we get any questions at all. And so tonight, let's start with the first question, which I get asked a lot, which is tap water as good as bottled water? Well, first of all, that depends what you mean by as good as. One of the first things that people will always think about is, what does it taste like? And we'll come to that question in a moment. What does tap water taste like? But let's consider the taste between bottled water and tap water in blind tests that we've done both in Malta and in the other 30 countries where tap water filters are distributed. In blind tests, people have really liked the taste of the tap water, TAPP water, the filtered tap water. Not so much with the normal water coming out of the tap. And they've normally appreciated the bottled water as well. And quite often they can't tell the difference between tap water and bottled water. So that's a good sign. One of the things that tap water has as an advantage over bottled water is that you won't get microplastics in filtered tap water. So when the water is passing through a filter such as this is the EcoPro compact, where you switched it like that and the water is passing through like this, microplastics are being filtered out by the 5-stage activated carbon filter that is in the tap water filter. So you don't get anything like microplastics in there. However, in bottled water, there's been plenty of research to show that there is microplastics in bottled water, which, if you think about it, kind of makes sense because it's water in a plastic bottle. There's been lots of research to say that water is already, microplastics is already in both our food and our water systems. So even coming out of the tap water, you would expect microplastics. But when it's filtered through a device such as this, which is the EcoPro compact, then you're going to be free from microplastics. So thank you for joining us. I can see some more people have joined us now. Do ask questions. Just stick them in the comments if you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, and I'll be able to see those questions, and we'll come to them as we go through. So let's have a look at another question we get asked quite a lot. What does tap water taste like? Well, again, this is one of those questions where it's really down to your personal taste. I've had hundreds of different descriptions of tap water. Sometimes when I've been to someone's house and they've tried it for the first time, or they've tried it at one of the events or shows that we do, there's a surprise. There's a surprise element. It's like, oh, it's okay. And I think that's in general in Malta because people are surprised that you could drink water from our public water supply system, because a lot of people are sort of, they know intuitively that they won't like the taste. So when it's been through a tap water filter, it tastes okay. I've also had descriptions that people say it tastes wonderful. And I've also had descriptions from people who say that the tap water filter doesn't work and it doesn't make any difference. So we've got descriptions from sort of one end of the scale to the other end of the scale, which we consider to be perfectly normal. The great answer to what does tap water taste like is, well, you try it and you try it in your home and then see what you think, because that's what's important. And also because you're trying it in your home with your pipes, your systems, your water supply and all that kind of stuff. So that's why we do this taste test guarantee, which means that for 45 days, once you have your tap water filter, if there is anything you don't like, which might include the taste or anything like that, then just we'll come and collect it and then give you a refund. Now, 95% of people keep their taps. So the other thing that we have seen that I do remember is that sometimes people will, let's say they'll say it's okay right at the very beginning, and then it takes them a week to really adjust to that taste because they're sensitive to the different taste between different, let's say, types of bottled water. And then when they convert to tap water, it just takes some time. The important thing is that it's not a bad taste. Normal tap water without a filter, people wouldn't describe that as okay, and people in general wouldn't describe that as being something they want to drink. Whereas with tap water, when it's been through a filtering process such as this, then people will say that it's okay, and then after some period of time, then they're absolutely fine with it, and they don't remember what the bottled water tastes like. So it has been filtered from 100 different contaminants, but that's one of the other questions we'll probably come to later. So here's another question from Charlene. If I use more than 2 liters of water per day, which one is good for me, the compact or the ultrafiltration? Well, that's an interesting one. Now that we've got 3 different types of water filter. Okay, we've got this one, which is the Pitcher Pro. Now, this is a jug filter, Pitcher Pro. So what happens is when you pour that jug out, the water is passing through the filter and then being filtered. So you don't have to wait for it. It pours at about 1 liter a minute, and it's got a fiber, an activated carbon fiber filter. These two have got solid activated carbon blocks. And this one here, the TAPP EcoPro, that will do 1,200 litres over a maximum period of 3 months. It's really important to remember the 3 months, okay, because you must change the filter within 3 months. And that's because you don't want bacteria to build on this, which is the activated carbon block inside both of these filters. You wouldn't want bacteria to build on that. And in fact, you wouldn't want bacteria to build on this, which is the activated carbon fiber that's in the Pitcher Pro filters. Now, what happens is after 3 months, you're getting a bacteria buildup, and normally before that time, as water is passing through the filter, the bacteria is going to be overwhelmed by the water passing through. As the filter gets used and more clogged and less efficient, the bacteria kind of hangs on more, and so it becomes more risky. So at 3 months, you really want to change your filters, and so that this one lasts 1,200 litres. So if you're drinking 2 litres of water a day, Charlene, this is going to last you, but you're not really going to be using it to its maximum. You're never going to get to your 1,200 litres. Whereas this, 2 litres a day, 60 litres a month, 180 litres every 3 months, let's say. This would be great for you. You would change your filter every 3 months. This is a smaller filter inside here. This just does 300 litres instead of the larger filter in this one. So here's a 300 litre filter. Again, maximum 3 months. So this would be great for you, Charlene, at 2 litres a day. It's the EcoPro Compact. Now, you mentioned the ultrafiltration there, which I don't have on show here. I hardly ever show that one, actually. Maybe I should. The ultrafiltration is a really good device, but we use it for wells and we use it for tanks. You shouldn't have water from tanks. We know that. The legal position is that all your cold water should be coming from the main supply. However, I have come across situations where in penthouses, for instance, there's very low pressure and they've got water coming from the tanks. In fact, the ultrafiltration device is good then, and it's also good for people who are very sensitive to bacteria. The ultrafiltration device is sold in places like India and South American countries, for instance, where water quality is a bit suspect, and it removes 99.9% of all bacteria. So it's great for wells. However, if you've got well and you've got public water supply, use your public water supply because you know more about what's going on with that and how it's been tested and things like that. So thank you, Charlene, for that question. Here's a question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you may remember I had an issue with a part which you replaced. Thank you. However, the same thing has happened, and I wanted to ask you if it could be because of high pressure, as there is a water pump attached. Okay, that's a really great question. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you for coming tonight. What happens is this is a manufactured product. Okay, it's plastic molded from ABS plastic, and faults do happen. It's as simple as that. The type of things that happen is this bit breaks here, it cracks, and sometimes it'll crack here, and I've also seen them crack here. On the whole, the numbers are nice and small. They're like 1%, something like that, maybe 2% on some months. But overall, it's out of every 100 units that are out there, the percentage that have got faults is quite low. When they do have faults, we replace the part. Now, somebody who's had 2 faults in a row has been unlucky. It's not impossible though, it has happened several times. I've not had more than 3 faults in one go, but we always just replace the part. So I wouldn't say that it was due to high pressure as a pump. I wouldn't normally be worrying about that. This will handle anything up to sort of 5-6 litres a minute. What I would say is just send me an image of the problem, and we'll put the part in the post to you. We always replace them free of charge. Our mission is to eliminate plastic bottles for drinking water. So therefore, you need a working filter for that mission to be achieved. So we just replace the parts. And as I say, twice you're a bit unlucky. More than 3 hasn't happened yet, but we have had people with 3 breaks in a row, not necessarily in a short period of time, but over a period of time. It's a manufactured product, as I said, and quality control is good. There's always little bits of improvements going on, and that's one of the things I love about TAPP Water, their head office in Barcelona. There's always improvements, and there's always little things that's being changed behind the scenes to make things easier. I think, in fact, Elizabeth, the one you had wasn't one of the ones where we can take this bit off like this to change the filter. I think you've had one of the first ones where this and this piece was solid as one piece. So that's this has been an improvement. So when you send me a picture, I'll need to identify which one you've got, so I need to know which one to do. And yes, and thank you for coming. So if you've got any other questions, please do send them in. I really appreciate the questions. I've never actually done one of these lives where we've had sort of ask any question, but I think it's great. I'll have to put that back in a minute. Okay, so what's the difference between tap water and a jug filter? Well, that's one we get asked quite a lot as well. Jug filters are very common in Malta. They're normally a plastic jug, and you normally have to fill the plastic jug up and then wait for the water to come through. And that, in fact, is the main difference between, or one of the main differences between tap water, these types of water filters, and plastic jug filter, is there's no waiting. You just turn the tap on and you get filtered water out straight away. One of the other things that makes tap water very different to jug filters is tap water's independently tested and certified to remove over 100 different types of contaminants, and jug filters do not. Jug filters are effective at removing chlorine, and they're effective at removing heavy metals and several other things. But if you look at the independent tests that we have on our website, they're publicly available. Things like microplastics, that's a really big thing to remove out of these. And the reason that these water filters, tap water filters, do so well with microplastics is that inside here is this activated carbon block, and it's a solid block. So it's made of coconut, which is a renewable resource. And it's got 2 microns of porosity, which means anything more than 2 microns is not going to pass through. And microplastics are small bits of plastics, and these are going to be bigger than 2 microns, so they're not getting through. The jug filters use normally an activated carbon that's granular. So you're not getting the water pressure pushing through a membrane, you're getting the water sinking down through the granular activated carbon. And it is good at removing chlorine, but it is not as good as a tap water filter at removing an awful lot of the other substances. And other things you've got to consider are things like antibacterials, pharmaceuticals, nitrates, and stuff like that. There is an improvement to taste as well, but when we've done blind tests between jug filters and tap water filter, then there is an improvement in the taste. You could say that also with our jug filter, the taste is slightly different to the tap water filters. However, what we're using in the jug filters is still removing 80+ contaminants, because we're using an activated carbon fiber, amongst other things. And again, you've got the water volume pressure pushing the water through these filters, which makes it very effective, again, at microplastics. Let's go on to, we've partly covered this, contaminants. Yeah, I've mentioned most of the contaminants, so let's do another question that we get asked quite a lot. Does tap water fit all mixers? No, it doesn't. There are some mixers that it doesn't do. On our website, you'll see that on the FAQs, you'll see there we've got a section in there about the kind of filters that have got like a hose attachment to it, a bit like a shower hose thing that you can like spray around. They can work with those ones, but they don't work particularly well, because you don't really want these on the end of your thing as you like move it around. But some of the smaller shower filters, they do work quite well. And if you're not going to use the shower filter bit or the extension, then you can still use it, because a lot of them will be this type of size aerator. This is an M24 aerator, and those are pretty much the standard, and they're in the end of a lot of those flexible hose ones as well. There are some GROH filters, GROH taps that it doesn't fit, in particular the Minter, which has got a very strange size of aerator. I think it's an M18 with a slightly different thread to it. Instead of being a 1 mil thread, it's a 1.5 mil thread, and I can't find adapters for that. We have a range of adapters. I have actually now 14 adapters, so we use these types of things, and I've got 14 different types of adapters that go from 16 mil up to 32 mil. So that includes things like garden taps and the smaller filters. So we can fit just about anything. And there's even a chart on our website as well that you can access. And basically what you do is you take your aerator and then you put a coin on top. So a 1 cent, a 2 cent, a 5 cent, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, €1 and €2. One of those, when it sits on top and fits snugly, then that'll indicate to me what size adapter you need. And the adapter's available on our website, as is things like this. This is an aerator key. This has got 4 sizes of aerator on it, and you can go from M21 to M28. I think it's 21, 22, 24, and 28. And I've got some other ones coming which are, they do this type of tap, and yeah, they do that type of tap, so that would be good. Lastly, this is the last question we'll do today, and I'll just, can you fit tap water for me? No, I used to, and we've got lots of lovely comments on the website about me fitting tap water filters. I had to stop doing that because it's not practical to do it. To be honest, I'm not a plumber. I have fitted probably a few hundred now out of the 2,000 customers that we have. And so our guidance really is available online. We have FAQs, we have videos, we have tools like this we can send you. And if you can't get the aerator out and you need some assistance, it's like find a friend or find a plumber. Because that's the way we can operate effectively rather than putting up costs. And I never felt that I should be charging for fitting, for instance, as an additional thing to make it sort of work from a business point of view, because I'm not a professional fitter. So the whole design is designed so that you can fit it yourself. That's exactly what it's designed for. So the last question I'll do today then is, I changed my filter and now the taste is awful. What should I do? Actually, I get this a few times every year, and the issue has been caused by the seal of the filter being removed. So this is a filter casing of the EcoPro. We open it like this. We take out the casing like this. As you can see, this is a used casing. And what happens is there's you see the grey seal in there. That sticks to the top because it's all wet. And then somebody doesn't notice, throws away the filter, puts a new one in. And then without this seal, it won't be filtering. And that's why the taste is awful. Now, it's nice to be able to see that in a way, because you certainly know when it's filtering. And you know when it's not. So without this seal in the casing, it's not going to be filtering. So it's really important to check, just when you change your filters, that this seal remains there. Great, thank you very much. So let's just check in the comments to see whether there is any other questions. Thank you very much for coming today. It's time for our giveaway, and the giveaway tonight is this bottle here. This is the bottle. All you need to do is type TAPP Talk 5 into the comments section on whatever platform you are, and then we will spin the wheel, and we will be able to get a winner. And whilst you're just putting your entries in there, let's just remind you that currently there is a discount off the TAPP EcoPro Compact. Is €25 off until midnight on April the 30th, which is quite soon. So you can get that on our website at www.tapwater.mt. Just use the code SAVE25, and you can also send me a WhatsApp message on 35699866142. SMSs are okay, and you can even call between the hours of 10 and 4 o'clock. And you can email at hello@tapwater.mt. And I've got another question here. Is it enough to change the filter, or should I clean the device too? Well, that's a good question, Annalena. You can clean the device. I think the dirtiest part of the device is actually this here, the lid of the casing. I've seen that get dirty in my own home, both on the Compact and on the other one. And so putting some warm water with some very mild detergent onto it and making sure that you clean it off, you rinse it off well, has worked for me. The official advice from Tap Water is do not wash it. and that's because people tend to over soap it or use strong detergents or things like that. So if you just use warm water, that's going to be fine. And I do tend to clean them when I change the filters. So now to our winner of the competition, and our winner today is Elizabeth. Congratulations, Elizabeth. I will be sending you a bottle, and I probably need to send you a spare part at the same time. So if you message me later, I think you've got my number for WhatsApp. I can show that on the screen, Elizabeth. If you'd like to send me a message on WhatsApp on that number, just bung me a message and send me a photo of the issue you're having with your tap, and then I shall send you a part and your bottle at the same time. And thank you very much for entering the competition. I understand I've already got a video on WhatsApp. That's a really good way of telling me if you do have any issues with your tap water filters. Just send me a video or a picture on WhatsApp, and then I can see what's happening and help you straight away. So thank you very much, Elizabeth. I shall be right back to you in a moment. That's the end of our broadcast tonight. I would really like to thank you for turning up tonight and listening to some of the questions that we have, and we'll be doing these tap talks every single week, and we'll also in the future be having some guests and things like that. So thank you very much once again, and I wish you a very pleasant evening.